Oh, it's been a while since I've done this. And I'm trying to think the last time I did a highly opinionated highly opinionated sports podcast might have been July. I think free agency was going on, stuff like that. So it's been a minute. It's been a long minute. And it just feels good to come back and do this because I love giving my opinion on stuff, especially sports related stuff. Um, so yeah, today's episode, I'm gonna rant a lot about the Chicago Bulls because I'm fed up. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. I just want to watch basketball, good basketball, but the Chicago Bulls aren't putting that on the court. And then we also, well, why am I saying we? It's just one. There's two of me. I don't know. I'm also going to be talking about. See, I'm probably so used to my other podcasts, which I do at the Northern Star. Check it out. The Headliners, great show, love it. I'm also going to talk about some way too early. Well, I guess it's not way too early. We're getting to that point in the season, but some early NBA playoff predictions. All right. So to start, I'm going to get on. Just going to get on the Chicago Bulls right now. The Bulls are supposed to be one of the premier NBA franchises in all of the league and one of the top franchises in all of sports in North America. And the past couple of years, they keep proving that they're not there. They're not a Lakers. They're not the Celtics. They're not even the Warriors. And it's pathetic. You go from a team that had such a rich history built from the 80s into the 90s, and then you come back with the Rose era in the early 2010s, and it feels like they don't care. The Bulls, up until this season, have either been first or second in attendance for every single NBA season since 2004. In 2003, they were third in attendance. This season, they're 10th. Because Bulls fans, they finally caught on. They've caught on to the bullshit that if we keep going and spending all the money at these games to keep filling the seats, the they're going to keep lining their pockets. They're going to keep letting John Paxson and Gar Forman destroy the franchise. But now, I mean, I think Chicago's All-Star Weekend highlighted how upset Bulls fans were. You had Bulls fans sitting in the background on First Take shouting "Fire Gar Pax" live on TV with Stephen A. Smith and Zach LaVine and Max Kellerman there, and it was perfect. It's perfect. So after All-Star weekend right away, when the whole league saw what Chicago's like and what's going on with the Bulls, they took notice. Now you're hearing rumblings that Gar Forman's going to be fired or demoted to a scout. John Paxson isn't going to be in his position, or he's going to be scaled back and not be like the public figure. And it sounds like Jim Boylan, after his first full year of head coach, after he signed a terrible 3-year deal that nobody wanted, is going to be fired. Music to my ears if that's true. Now, I'm trying to be optimistic and being like, the Reinsdorfs can't be that dumb to where they put us through another season of this. Because we're in season, 4 of the rebuild. No progress. We're not better than we were last year. In fact, we're worse. Guys like Lauri Markkanen regressed, who's supposed to be the future of our franchise. Sure, Zach LaVine got better, but let's face it, Zach's a great player, but he's not going to be a franchise centerpiece. He's not going to take us to the next level. So here's what the Bulls need to do. First and foremost, got to get rid of Gar Forman and John Paxson. Got to do it. Fire Gar Pax. I don't care if you move Gar Forman to a scout. He's not a bad scout. That's fine. Whatever. I don't care. I don't want to see general manager by his title. John Paxson, he is the only executive in the NBA to be in his current position. He's been there since 2004. Only one other executive has been in their position longer than him, and that's R.C. Buford, the guy that's helped put together 5 San Antonio Spurs championship winning teams. That guy deserves to keep his job. How many championship teams have John Paxson put together in his 15, 16 years at the helm? None. Sure, those 2011 and 2012 Bulls teams are great, and injuries played a role in that franchise falling or that iteration of the franchise falling apart. But you've run out of excuses. It took you too long to turn around that Bulls team, and now you're trying to turn them around again. You tried the Jimmy Butler, Dwayne Wade, Rajon Rondo experiment for one season. That didn't work, and no one thought it would. I mean, you're taking 34-year-old Dwayne Wade and 32-year-old Rajon Rondo to place him with 28-year-old Jimmy Butler. What are you expecting? I mean, we made it interesting in the playoffs that year, but we're an 8th seed. Barely made the playoffs. I don't even know we were barely 500, I think. So you got to get rid of them. New GM comes in. First thing that new GM does, gets rid of Jim Boylan. The players don't like him. Zach LaVine doesn't like him. I can't imagine anyone in management likes him. And the fans sure as hell don't like him. You just got to get rid of him. Players are not developing under him. He's so old-fashioned as a coach, to the point where he's like a Tom Thibodeau, but with a bad defense, and like none of the players respect him. Sure, Tibbs rode his guys hard, but he was a good coach, great defensive schemes, and his players loved him. They were willing to go to bat for him. They liked that guy so much that half of the Chicago Bulls teams half the Chicago Bulls players from the 2010s, they went to Minnesota. Yes, they stayed in a place like Minnesota. Could you imagine being a professional athlete in Minnesota? I mean, yeah, Chicago's cold in the winter, but at least Chicago's Chicago. You got so much around to do. I think Minneapolis only has like the Mall of America. I mean, I've been there once, but what are you going to do in Minnesota? You could ice fish. That's something you could do. But there's been no improvement from the players. There's been several head coaching changes. And we're not attracting free agents. Our marquee free agent for the year was Thaddeus Young, followed by Tomas Satoransky. Woo! I mean, Thaddeus is a savvy veteran, but he's not going to move the needle. He's past his prime by this point. He doesn't know what he's doing. Now, a lot of people are like, I believe it when they see it and whatnot, which I can understand that point. If these changes aren't made to where they clear house, attendance is going to continue to fall. No one wants to pay United Center prices to watch a G League team with one borderline all-star player run back and forth and get blown out every night. It's not fun. And we shouldn't have a product like that on the floor in the house that Michael Jordan built. It's disgusting. Honestly, the team should change their name if they're going to continue to operate like this, because this is not Chicago Bulls basketball. And going with that, a prominent brand's being tarnished. Somehow we're still the 4th most valuable franchise in the NBA, but that's going to change real quick. The Reinsdorfs are going to lose a lot of money because fans are going to stop caring. For years, it used to be a thing where you'd see Bulls fans at every arena. You'd travel to Atlanta for a Hawks game. Bulls fans everywhere. Milwaukee, the stadium used to be mostly Bulls fans. It's not happening now because Milwaukee's on pace to win like 70 games this season. It's ridiculous. No longer the Madhouse in Milwaukee. If anything, Bucks fans are probably going to pack our stadium. And this next part goes along with that huge thing. So Jordan walked out of the United Center for the last time as a Chicago Bull in the summer of 1998. I believe it was after Game 5. Don't quote me on that. The last time Michael Jordan wore a Bulls jersey for the Bulls was Game 5, 1998 in Chicago. And that was 22 years ago. Almost 22 years it's been. So you're at a point where a lot of adults don't remember Michael Jordan. They don't remember watching Michael Jordan. They don't remember even some of them don't even remember him on the Wizards, either because they weren't paying attention or some kids at that age just no memory. Um, and so with that Jordan era, like, oh, we won 6 championships in the 90s. We're the Bulls, blah, blah, blah. That's wearing off. Sure, Bulls fans are going to continue to celebrate Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan as they should for decades. But the appeal to the current era Bulls fan, it's wearing off. In an era where people are becoming more fans of players than teams, as detrimental to the Bulls fans base. The Bulls they haven't had any players you can like cling on to and be like, that's my guy. Because none of these Bulls, A, it doesn't feel like any of them are going to be permanent. B, it doesn't feel like any of them are going to be like there for a while and be productive and embrace the franchise because player movement's so constant, whether the team's moving them out or the players themselves are leaving, that it's hard for a fan base, especially like newer fans coming into a franchise, to identify with that team. For me, those 2010 Bulls with Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah, they'll always be like that will always be my team. Those will always be my guys. And it's so hard getting attached to any of these players. Like I like Zach LaVine because I was a fan of him when he was in Minnesota, but still as a Bulls player, like I just don't feel that connection. I see him wearing a Bulls uniform, but I don't feel like he's a Chicago Bull. And part of that's not his fault. Part of that's the situation of the franchise. But there's no team identity anymore. And with the Jordan era well behind us, the draw of being a Chicago Bulls fan and the history of the team is not as appealing to those new fans. Now I'm different. I'm an NBA history nut. I love the 70s, 80s, 90s, especially the 90s. I love it all. 2000s, 2010s now. Oh my god. Yeah, there's a whole decade behind us and it feels like it was yesterday. Um I love all of it. So, I'm still huge on like the Bulls and like their legacy and stuff like that. But not every Bulls fan's like me, my age. A lot of my Bulls friend fans, did I say that backwards? Bulls fan friends. There we go. We're doing English today. They're like LeBron fans, or they're fans of this player or that player, a player that's never played for the Bulls or a player that was an enemy of the Bulls. That's not the kind of fan base you want to be building because eventually they're not going to be Bulls fans anymore. They're going to be, yeah, I'm a LeBron fan. Oh, you're a LeBron fan? What's your favorite team? Oh, just whatever team LeBron's on. Like that's the kind of fans that are growing up in the Chicago area because there's no reason to cheer for the Chicago Bulls. Why would you want to cheer for a team that makes the same mistakes over and over and over again and keeps thinking, it's fine. People are just going to pack our stadium. We're good. We don't have to win. We don't need to win. We're making money. It's a business. No, it's getting old and you're not raising new Bulls fans. And in a sense, you look 10 years from now, I won't be shocked if nothing changes and no one's going to Bulls games. Another problem with the state of the franchise is in this era, there's so much player movement that you can't expect players to stay for these crappy franchises and be loyal to teams when the teams aren't loyal to the players. So you've heard reports of like Lauri Markkanen saying that he's not staying. I believe that his development's been stunted. He's not being used correctly. Why would he stay? This franchise is so dysfunctional. He doesn't want to be here. And then soon it's going to be Zach LaVine. And then one day it'll be Wendell Carter Jr. and then Kobe White. Sure, you can lock them down and match their contract, but we've seen what players like Paul George and Andre Iguodala have done. Contracts don't mean anything because the players can walk themselves out of it. They can force trades, they can sit and not play, whatever, and they get out of it. The players have so much power nowadays, And that should scare franchises. That should make every franchise aspire to be some team like the Golden State Warriors, where they set a gold standard for how to run a franchise. The Chicago Bulls are ways and worlds away from that, and it's ridiculous. Also, I'm seeing the chat. Thanks for the birthday shout out, Lindsay. I really appreciate it. All right. So I want to get in next to what players on the Bulls I'd like to see on the roster next season, and the ones that I don't ever want to see don a Bulls uniform again. So I'm just gonna go down the list. We'll start at Thaddeus Young. I don't really care if he's on the Bulls next season. He just shouldn't be like a starter or like our top free agent. I think he's in for a 2-year deal. I forget if it's a team option or not. He can stay or he could be a trade piece. I'm fine with either. Next on that list, Otto Porter Jr. I mean, if you can sign him to a lower contract and hope he's healthy, get rid of him because he's making like $27 million a year. He's played 11 games this season, and he just hasn't been like what we've needed. And I'm fine with moving off of him. Zach LaVine, keep, because he's all the star power and all the draw the Bulls have right now. He's not a centerpiece to a team that's going to contend. He has made great improvements. He could be an all-star one day, but he can't be the number one guy doing it alone. We're going to need to bring in somebody else or somehow get a great draft pick in this draft and draft the next superstar. Next, I have Zach LaVine. I just said Zach LaVine. Next, I have Kobe White. Kobe White, I mean, obviously, it'd be stupid to move off of him. The kid has so much potential as a scoring guard. Like, the guy just dropped 3 consecutive 30-point games off the bench, the third rookie ever to do it, and the first to do it coming off the bench. 33 points, and then 35. Like, Kobe, he struggled this season. He might have hit an early rookie wall. But since coming out of the All-Star break, he's been playing phenomenal. And it's great because it's like, oh my God, the Bulls might have drafted a solid player. Wow. One of our players might have a future. Now, the issue with Kobe White is he a winning basketball kind of player? Will his style of play mesh with Zach LaVine? Because they're both scorers. And I want to know how he's going to play with Zach LaVine, but our idiot coach is like continues to keep him on the bench. I don't think Kobe's made one start this year because he wants Kobe to gain leadership being part of the second unit. Okay, he can lead the second unit. Let's try something different and see, hey, how does he do starting alongside Zach LaVine? How does he do with the ball in his hands? How does he do with the ball out of his hands in the starting lineup? How is he doing as the primary ball handler and point guard in the starting lineup? Like, can we figure that out? Because there's no reason not to try it a few games. The season's lost. You're not making the playoffs. Mix it up. Try things out. So I want to see Kobe White hopefully develop into a special player. I don't know if he'll be an all-star one day. I don't know if he'll be a super. I mean, I don't think he'll be a superstar. I think he's going to be a complimentary player to whatever team he's on, whether it's with the Bulls or he goes to some other team down the road. But I'd like to see him in the Bulls uniform for a couple more seasons at the very least. Next, Tomas Satoransky. I could take him or leave him. He shouldn't be a starter. He shouldn't be playing big minutes. He should be like 8th or 9th guy off the bench. So I'm fine with whatever happens. Chris Dunn. The Bulls have been so weird with him this year. I would re-sign him for his defensive capabilities as long as we don't give him a stupid contract. He's making about $5 million a year on the last year of his rookie deal. I don't think he should be signed for much more than that. If he's signed for more than that, next Ryan Archidiakono. Yeah, you can let him walk. I mean, he has heart. He's been a system player in Boylan's system, but he's not an NBA level player. He's a G leaguer. Sure, Windy City Bulls, pick the guy up. That's fine. I remember the first season of the Windy City Bulls, and he was one of the first players on that roster. And I remember seeing his name, being like, "Oh God, how do you say that?" Um, yeah, I don't want to. He's not an NBA level player. Wendell Carter Jr. Keep. Love Wendell Carter Jr. I love. He's like a lunch and pail player. He comes in, he's gonna get you 10 boards. He's gonna give you 10 points, like so double guaranteed every night. Uh, I like his defense. If the Bulls can go out and get a center, I'd like to see how he'd play at the power forward role because he's kind of an undersized center, and I'm more of a fan of like those like 7-footers. And also Wendell Carter Jr. kind of spreads the floor. He's got a bit of an outside shot. Definitely can be improved, but I like what I've seen from him. I hope he sticks around. Um, and I hope he can figure out his health issues. He's missed a lot of time. He only played 44 games last year. He's only played 37 so far this season, and he's currently out with an injury. Lauri Markkanen. I think the Lauri Markkanen experiment in Chicago is over for two reasons. One, I'm not convinced he can lead our franchise. And two, he's not convinced that our franchise is a place for him to be. I think we should trade him. Maybe. You could try sticking it out another year with him and seeing how that works. But if you're going to trade him, do it as soon as possible while his value is still high or as high as it can be. Because that was a lottery pick. He was the reason why we traded Jimmy Butler. It turns out Zach LaVine is now the centerpiece of that trade. So I want to like Lauri, but I don't think it's all his fault. But I just haven't seen the improvements that we should be seeing. Next on the list, Daniel Gafford. So when this pick came out on draft night, I was pissed because Bull was still on the board, and I'd never heard of Daniel Gafford. And then I read he's like your classic center, which I mean, I like these kind of players, but for what the Bulls are going for, it made no sense. Like no outside shot and stuff like that. And then the summer league started, and I became a huge fan. This guy will put the effort in on defense, like rack up blocks like no tomorrow. He came in like his first couple games in the NBA. He was like leading the league in blocks, either in total or it was like per so many minutes. I think it was in his per 36. And he's another player that like he does not get playing time, and I just can't figure it out why. Like Boylan's got to go. He doesn't know how to manage lineups. He's so bad. He sucks. And yeah. Next player, Shaquille Harrison or Shaq Harrison. I could take him or leave him. He's a fringe NBA level talent. Probably belongs in the G League. I mean, I love his hustle. I love his effort. But when it comes to the Bulls trying to build back up into a solid team, he's not a rotation level player. So I could take him or leave him. Luke Cornett, the Bulls center, he's a bit of an outside shot, although he's shooting a career low, like 32.5%. Yeah, I could leave him. No attachment to him. He's a fringe NBA level talent. You'll start to notice that becomes a trend as we get farther down this list with some players. So he could be gone. I'm fine. Denzel Valentine, cut. Get rid of him. You don't have to trade him. It's okay. We don't need to recoup any value. You'll probably screw up the trade anyway and give us like another Cameron Payne or someone worse because the Bulls are good at that. I mean, it should have been made apparent with that rap video he released that we just need to get rid of him. Oh my God, that music video was so bad. Okay, if you have some time, go onto his Twitter, Denzel Valentine's Twitter. Look in his media folder or section and look for that rap video. It is bad. Oh my god, it's worse than his play on the court. He was the 14th pick, I believe, back in 2016, and he missed last year due to injury. And he hasn't lived up to his potential. It's kind of embarrassing that he's wearing a number Michael Jordan wore for the Bulls, which is 45. Just get rid of him. Chandler Hutchinson, keep. He's made strides this year. He still has potential. I don't know what kind of player he's going to develop into. People are hoping he like turns into a tenth of what Scottie Pippen was. Um, I don't know. I'm interested to see, given the proper coach, what he turns into. So keep him. Oh, here's my least favorite player on the list. We got Cristiano Felicio. Cristiano Felicio, the worst $8 million spent in Chicago Bulls history. We gave this man a $32 million contract over 4 years. He's so bad. He was playing for the Brazil's team this summer for FIBA, and he was barely getting double digits in scoring. You're in like the only NBA player from your country. That can happen. And like it's not like, well, whoa, what about his rebounding? Okay, he was getting like 8 boards a game. Like, what are you doing out there if you're an NBA player and you can't? It's and he's given minutes and preference over guys like Gafford, and I don't understand. It's like the Bulls are like, we spent $8 million on this guy. You have to play him so we don't look like idiots. Nah, we see through you. We see he's bad. He's booty. Get rid of him. Cut him. Whatever. His contract's I believe up. Don't re-sign him. Tell other teams not to re-sign him. He is so bad. It just hurts to watch him run up and down the floor. Now we're getting into our two-way players. So Adam Makoka. I say bring on the two-way part 2. He had like 15 points in 10 minutes in a game against the Pelicans. I mean, I like what I see. We haven't seen a lot, but I'm willing to say, hey, throw another two-way at him. Why not? Then there's Max Struss from DePaul. He tore his ACL, so he's out for the rest of the season. I mean, I just want to see a local guy succeed in a Bulls uniform. Send him back to the G League. Sign him to the Windy City Bulls. See what he can do there once he's healthy. And maybe pull him up on assignment for a few Bulls games. It's cool to see somebody that's local get a chance in the league. So, well, that's enough. That's all I want to say about the Chicago Bulls. I probably spent half an hour on that. That's fine. I'm going to breeze through my early playoff predictions and basically what I think each team's role is going to be in the playoffs. This is as of February 27th NBA standings before the games start tonight. Excuse me. So I'm going to start with the Milwaukee Bucks. We're going to start in the East. They're at 50 wins right now. The fastest team to make the NBA playoffs. They could win 70 games. They're a contender. They have a legitimate shot to win the title. And I'm rooting for them. And believe it or not, I'm rooting for I'm rooting for a LeBron team to win the finals. Only because of Kobe Bryant, though. So that's my disclaimer on that. But the Bucks have a legitimate chance to unseat a fully healthy Western Conference opponent in the finals this year. And I would love to see Giannis stay in Milwaukee. I'm trying not to buy into the whole, he's going to Golden State or the Lakers if they choke in the playoffs. I don't want to believe Giannis would do that. I hope he stays in Milwaukee because it's great for that city and it's great for that franchise because they haven't had anyone like Giannis since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar left them in the mid-70s for the Lakers. Via trade. So second in the East is the Raptors. They're at 42 wins right now without Kawhi. That's insane. I mean, you can argue, yeah, the East is weak, but losing Kawhi Leonard and not skipping a beat, pretty damn impressive. They'll be a contender in the East. They'll be a contender in the East if they make the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think they'd stack up well at all, though, in the finals. They don't have a true superstar. And the playoffs and finals, especially, have shown us that you need a superstar to win in this league. Uh, but it would be cool to see if the Raptors could make some noise and try to defend their title. Hats off to them. Honestly, this season for them should be seen as a win regardless because they have blown everybody's expectations out of the water. So hats off to Nick Nurse. Hats off to that franchise. Hats off to their management. They're doing great in a city where American NBA players don't want to stay. All right. The Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum, since connecting the beard at the chin, has been averaging like 30 points per game over his last 11 games. He dropped 40 against the Lakers. He was the first Celtic to do that since Paul Pierce, I believe, is what I saw. That team's a contender. I like how they match up with the Lakers because then you can throw Tatum at Anthony Davis or LeBron James. And then you have someone like Kemba Walker that will get you buckets so quick. And there's really no one on the Lakers to match him in terms of offensive production. Sure, you could throw Rondo or Bradley at him defensively, but that Celtics team, I wish they went out and got a center, like another center, before the deadline. That didn't happen, so you kind of have to rely on Enes Kanter. But this team's a contender. They could win an NBA championship. I'm a big believer in that. The Miami Heat. This team has been another one of those surprise teams. Hats off to Pat Riley and building this team and going out and getting Jimmy Butler and finding a place where not only is Jimmy Butler's happy, but Jimmy Butler's accepted and his teammates are happy with Jimmy Butler. They went and made a huge trade with the Grizzlies at the trade deadline, got Iguodala. Iguodala's still kicking off the rust a bit. It's okay. He's going to be serviceable come playoff time and a valuable player. They make the East interesting. They're currently a 4th seed. They're going to make that first round really interesting. I don't believe they're a contender. They're not there yet. They still got a lot of young players. But this is the perfect time for them to get some playoff experience because Bam Adebayo hasn't had any playoff experience yet. Butler hasn't been the main guy on the playoff team in about 2 years. So it's time for them to build experience. All right. The 76ers. Philly. You guys are doing so well the past couple seasons. What happened? I don't know. I mean, obviously something is broken in the Sixers organization. And obviously, like Jimmy Butler made a point of that. So, see, guys, Jimmy Butler's been right about everything. The Bulls, Minnesota, the Sixers. It's time to give him some credit back. They're in position to be a first-round exit. They currently match up with the Heat, and I honestly think the Heat would beat them. Jimmy Butler might have a little chip on his shoulder and be like, you know what? I was talking crap about you guys because I mean it. Like, and he's probably going to try to be like, hey, Joel Embiid, just knocked you out of the playoffs. Why don't you come play with me next year? So it could be a perfect chance to recruit Embiid, even though it'd be kind of weak by Embiid. Like, okay, yeah, this team beat me. I'll join them. At least it wouldn't be in the Eastern Conference Finals like KD did in the West in 2016. They're going to be a first-round exit. I hate it because I was so impressed with how this team turned their franchise around from the 10-72 Sixers of, I believe, 2016. Or was it 2015? Might have been 2015. And this team might have to they might have to split Ben and Embiid. I don't want to see that happen. I would love for those two to play together, but at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for the franchise moving forward. So you're going to have to make those tough decisions. Indiana Pacers, they're sitting at 34 wins, which most of that's been without Victor Oladipo, and Victor Oladipo hasn't reached his form from the past 2 seasons. They may win a game. They may win a game against the Celtics if that's who they face. I don't see it. They're a feeder team. That's going to be the same thing with the Nets. They may win a game. They don't have Kyrie, but they have players that are interesting like Caris LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, DeAndre Jordan, Jared Allen. They may win a game. And then the Magic are just there to get swept by the Bucks. I mean, let's face it. It's like congrats on making the playoffs 2 years in a row without having Dwight Howard. But yeah, that's gonna be tough. All right, the West, the Lakers, contender, definitely a contender. I hope they win the playoffs because that'd be a great storyline for Kobe. Of course, it's going to move the whole needle on is LeBron the GOAT, and I'm just going to say LeBron can win a championship in LA. He's not the GOAT. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, it's pretty damn impressive you led a team in year 17 of your career to the finals, but then again, the league is so balanced, and it helps that you have another true superstar with you to do it. I mean, sorry, Michael's still the GOAT. Nuggets. I could see them being a second round exit. Because from what I've seen, I watched that Lakers Nuggets game a week or two ago, and in crunch time, Jokic isn't always reliable, and he was making like some bad offensive decisions, like throwing up bad shots, trying to draw contact. Jokic, I mean, you're at a superstar level, but you're not at superstar status in this league. You're not going to get those calls that LeBron gets or Westbrook gets or James Harden gets or somebody like that. I'm just not convinced. They didn't stack up against the Lakers well down the stretch. The experience of the Lakers and just LeBron being LeBron definitely sunk them in that game. And that's how I expect a playoff series to go against a team like the Lakers or the Clippers, which is going to lead me into my next. The Clippers are my favorite to win the title. Yeah, they're sitting in the 3rd seed right now, but that's part of that is because their load management BS, and also it's a lot of pieces coming to that team. But come playoff time, you got the reigning Finals MVP, you got Paul George, you got the team that almost took the Warriors to 7 games last season. They're my favorite to win it. I hope it's Lakers versus Clippers. And oh my God, I hope I get that internship in LA this year, because to be in LA for a cross-town Western Conference Finals would be a dream come true, not only for the NBA, not only for the city of Los Angeles, but myself, because I'd be at the center of it. Well, center of it as in just geographically. Oh my God, that'd be so cool. That'd be so cool. The Rockets, they're interesting. I mean, it's hard not to be interesting when you have James Harden and you have Russell Westbrook. But that team, Westbrook's getting older, Harden's getting older. You got guys like your top players are like PJ Tucker. He's 35. How long is he going to keep up his level of play? Not to mention, like, he's your center. He's 6'5". You can't have a 6'5" center in the playoffs when you're going against guys like Anthony Davis or Nikola Jokic. They're going to abuse PJ Tucker. Their only real centers are Tyson Chandler, who's like 37, 38, and Isaiah Hairstein, something like that, who's like some like 2-year player. Like, no, not gonna happen. They'll make a series interesting, but uh, I mean and the way it stands right now would be Rockets versus Thunder. Westbrook playing a playoff series in Oklahoma. Oh, can we please have Rockets versus Thunder? That'd be great. The Thunder are also going to make the first round really interesting, especially if it's against the Thunder or against the Rockets because hell, it's revenge time. Chris Paul knows his prime is slipping away. He knows his opportunities at a title slipping away. He is gonna ball out if he's healthy. He's really gonna be the one that drives that series. And oh my God, can this please happen? Can we just lock down the Western Conference right now? Except maybe move the Grizzlies out and move the Trailblazers in. I want to see all these series, like, because the way it's looking, we got Lakers, Grizzlies, Mavericks, Nuggets, which that's a good series. Clippers, Jazz, Rockets, Thunder. I like that. Can we sell that? Can we shut down the West? Let the East continue to move around? Just leave it like that. The Jazz are also going to make the first round interesting, but it's going to be another first round exit for this Jazz team. I mean, if your projected goes against the Clippers, God help you. Dallas Mavericks, it's going to be a test on their youth. Now, against a team like the Nuggets, I feel like they have a chance to win a couple games. I don't think they're going to move on, but this will be a test to see how is this young Mavericks core going to do and how good is Luka Doncic. It'll be his first chance at the playoffs, and I just like this kid. This kid has Hall of Fame potential. He has GOAT potential. He's on my short list of players that could pass Michael Jordan as the GOAT someday. That's a lot of pressure and really early to say that. But like from just how the players are in the league right now, he's on that short list just because his potential is unknown. His ceiling is unknown. And he's only in his second season and he's already doing some crazy stuff. The Grizzlies, they're there to get swept. I hope the Blazers fill the spot because I would love to see Lillard and McCollum in the playoffs, and I would love to see Melo like in his comeback season on a playoff roster. But you never know. It'd be cool to see a series with the Lakers and the Blazers, and you have Melo going against LeBron. I mean, Melo's well below the level of LeBron at this point, but I hats off to John Morant if they do it, but the Grizzlies they don't interest me. They don't excite me. No. All right. That's really all I got today. Kind of I need to throw a show together. I am happy to be back doing this. Oh my God. I miss doing my own podcast. I do another one for the Star. But I miss doing a podcast where I could just be myself. Hopefully I can get some people in with me so it's not just me talking my head off for like nearly an hour. So make sure you check out this podcast if you're listening to it live or if you're like on YouTube or watching it. Because I'll have more episodes coming out. I'm gonna try to stick to a weekly schedule. I just need to get this one out because I need to get the ball rolling. And just I don't know, I'm feeling myself, so I want to get back onto the podcast track. All right, so thanks for listening, thanks for watching. If you saw this on YouTube or Facebook Live, I will have a Twitter coming out for this podcast eventually. I'll probably have a Facebook page too, but definitely gonna get going on the Twitter first. Maybe even an Instagram. Probably not. That'd probably be the last thing I do. Oh my God, I moved my laptop. Sorry. But it'd be great to get a Twitter at least going. So thank you so much for watching. As always, I am Jarrett Huff. This is Highly Opinionated Sports. And you have a good February 27th. It's a Thursday. Work week's almost over. Power through. I mean, I skipped my classes today because I just didn't feel like going, but it's all right. It's good. Power through. It's almost Friday. Yes, I am sure I want to end my